Welcome to Project Strategy. This is the main topic that was the result of my PhD. Bless you. This was the main topic that was the result of my PhD studies. It took a while for me to understand how to do a PhD. It took a while for me and my mentor to communicate how to do a PhD together. Because again, at one time I was coming from industry and my mentor was saying to me, hey, when you do a PhD, you have to think and write like an academician. So I said, I don't know how to do that, but I'll try. So what we ended up agreeing on was that what I wrote is something of a combination of academic thinking and practical thinking. A lot of people in academia think that it's good to have a theory about stuff, okay? To have the theory about how to do project management, to have the theory about how to manage people. And all these theories are great, and a lot of the academicians, people that teach in the universities are good people, but a lot of them have never worked a job in their life other than teaching. They go from high school to college to PhD, master's to PhD, then to teaching. Never really working a job other than teaching. And I say to them, what you have to do, you have to go into the real world and work a real job if you want to really teach and understand project management. Because project management is more than just theory, it's practice. And when you practice, you find out that you look at your fingernails and you find that because you're so nervous and doing a lot of thinking and a lot of worrying about the project, you're chewing your fingernails off. So if you see a professor with fingernails highly polished, they have never been a project manager. They lie. Or they tell stories that they don't know. When I came to university to teach, I ended up looking at the theories of project management, and I say, this is good. We can practice this theory. This theory, not so good. Can't practice it. This is BS. Oh. So you have to, as a person, look at the material that people are giving to you and decide whether or not that material is stuff that you want to bring into your personal life, into your work life, to be part of your practice. So when you go to college, you take these courses, look, understand what each of these courses brings to you and tells you. Some of pieces of the courses are good, some are not so good. Some courses, the whole course is good. Your job is to, and the college student, a master's student, PhD student, is to gather the knowledge that you see in front of you and to take that which you think is understandable, usable, and can be practiced and practical, put it into your what? In your chest of tools. Those things that don't seem practical, put them in the bottom of the chest. Some of them throw away. But the idea is, as you come through life and as you go through managing projects, you say, oh, this is a situation. Let me look in my chest of tools. What do I have? What have I learned that I can use? And then you pull out a tool and you try it. See if the tool works. If the tool doesn't work, see if you can modify the tool so the tool can work. Because again, everything depends, everything is situational, and the tool needs to be maybe modified a little bit. So make use of your education, make use of your brain, put everything together, and manage accordingly. You will be in charge of the project as a project manager. And only the tools you have in your tool chest will help you. Only the mind you have in your brain will help you. So be a strategic project manager, always thinking, always worrying about your project, but do not do like I do and bite your fingernails. Instead, find something else to do, like maybe scratch your ear or something. Okay? So we're going to talk about project strategy. Has four major strategy dimensions. And to tell you the truth, the most important part of project management is communication. Communication, communication. It's no good for you to have a project plan. It's no good to have a project strategy. It's no good for you to have ideas unless you express them in either writing or verbalizing. Preferably both. And that you do what you say in writing and you do in your words. And what you say in your words, you do in your writing. Don't have two distinctly different ideas, one in writing and one in words. Because then people say, hey, this person is saying one thing and writing another thing. You have to what? You have to be true to your word. As a project manager, you have to be true to your word. So make sure that when you say something and you put together a plan, you put together a strategy, that you not only write it down, but verbalize it, disseminate it, circulate it. Make sure everybody knows what the story is. Write the story, tell the story, and make it always be the same story. And if you have to modify the plan, make sure people that know that you're modifying the plan, modify it in writing, modify it in your words. Always the same story, but the story can change as it goes. One of the things I showed you this morning, I forgot to mention, the UCP. On the pace, the one thing that typically changes in a project is pace. Because a lot of times we start the project very regular pace, and then all of a sudden things change, and we have to go to fast competitive. And then things get in trouble, then we have to go to blitz critical pace. So pace is typically the only thing that will change on that classification. And that's allowable. And sometimes we're going blitz critical and we say, oh, let's stop. Let's go back to regular pace. So that's also allowed. So pace is one of the things that change. But in project strategy, you look at where you are as a company, you look at where the project is at the beginning of the project, and you say, this is our strategy. Guess what happens? As you're moving through the project, it's taking time, right? And as you go through the project taking time, other things can happen during that time. Things can change. What you have to do as a project is recognize and see and understand, monitor, control the change. Understand things are happening and say, oh, therefore we have to adjust our project strategy. So the strategy we started with will change. If we change our strategy, we have to address and change our plans. Strategy is a high idea, and plans are step-by-step implementation of the high idea. Plans or tactics are implementations of strategy. And as we go through the project, if things change, we change our strategy, we change our plans, we communicate all of that to other people. And so project strategy is an interesting topic. And as I said before, most people look at project management and say, project management is only about what's inside the box. It's only about the project execution. A lot of people will say to you, okay, you want to be the project manager. Therefore, okay, here you go. You're going to be the project manager. I can't lift it up. Here are the project plans. Here are the project ideas. They give you a book, and everything is written down already. You're the project manager. What are you doing? You're taking a book where all the planning has been done, where all the thinking has been done. So they're telling you, you're not a project manager, you're a project administrator, a project clerk. Because we've already done all the thinking for you. All you have to do is just do it. So they're telling you, you're in charge of the box, and only what's inside the box. They're telling you, only do what we tell you to do. Don't think. Don't act. Just do. Is that a project manager? No, that's a clerk. You can get somebody off the street to do that. You don't need somebody with a master's degree. You don't need somebody that has industry experience to do that. Because all they have to do is just follow the steps. It's a cookbook. Step, step, step. Check, check, check. Done. Done. The part is complete. And then they finish it, and guess what? They deliver junk. The things that are happening, in this time that the project is undertake, because things are changing. And the only one that can do that, to follow the project and follow, quote, the plan, and follow the change, is the project manager, and see, hey, this changed. Mr. Marketing guy, guess what? We're building something, but the other companies are building something better. If we turn this up, we will look like fools. Why are we still working on this project? Why are we still building garbage? So sometimes the project manager is the conscience of the company. He's the conscience that tells the marketing people, hey, things changed. Hey, customer changed. Hey, technology changed. Hey, we have to do something different. So we have to adjust our project strategy and our project plan. And the only one that can do that will be a project manager who has the ability to use their brain and their heart and their soul to stand up for what is right in the project. What is right to do. Not just do it. So project execution, they tell you you're in charge of the box. But really, they also tell you you're also responsible for the result. Hey, I'm in the box. Things are changing. If I'm responsible for the result, maybe we should change what's happening in the box so the result will satisfy the customer. So that when you go to measure me on success, what I create out of the box will satisfy the customer, and then when you measure me on success, I will be measured correctly. But if you keep on insisting that I build in the box whatever junk you told me to build, and things changed, and they don't satisfy the customer, it's not my fault that the project result was unsuccessful. Hey, it's not always the project manager's fault. You may get me for being late and over budget, and I may deliver you a Taurus 1 that really works and sells you 1,000,000 cars, but you won't find out that over here, and over here you're going to tell me I was bad. But over here, all of a sudden I look great. You stepped on me. Don't do that. So, if we're going to measure success, we're measuring it what? After the project. And so this is the type of information I was given when I first went into my PhD studies. And I'm saying to myself, that's interesting. So I had to do something and be measured on these things. How do I know what these things are that I'm being measured on? And who is doing the measurement? How much do I have to do to meet these criteria? Well, how much do I have to do to beat these criteria? Where are these criteria? They only after the box? No. My mind is saying, hey, I'm a PhD student now. I have to think. What am I thinking? I'm thinking, hey, if I want to do all of this in the box, I have to do it in the box to create all of that success. In the box, I have to create it. But before I start the box over here, what is here? What is here? Nothing right now. Why not? Why isn't there something there? So I'm saying to my mentor, we have to do something before the box. So I'm saying we have to create something before the box. So I call it project strategy. So this is my idea, my topic. Project strategy. Hey, we're going to think before the box. That's interesting, huh? Think before you do. Maybe you'll find out the right path to take, huh? So, that was my concept. This is traditional project management. This is my mentor's project management. This is my contribution. Before the box. Think before the box. And so I'm saying, what is that black thing in the middle? Oh, that's supposed to be highlighting. These guys wrote something for PM Journal, Project Management Journal, and they looked at about 5 different companies. And they did all of this in 2005. And I was working on my stuff in 2000. And I'm saying, oh, look, they're looking about projects and programs, and that they translate the corporate strategy into, and they're talking about things that I've been talking about since 2000, and publishing since 2000, and going to conferences since 2000. I went to a number of different conferences with papers, 2001, 2003, 2003, and then 2005. I had papers already about project strategy and about thinking before the box. And these guys are doing their thinking in Europe, and they're not looking through the literature, not looking at the conferences to see my papers. Hey, I'm invisible. Today, I'm still invisible. You know why? Because I'm not an academician. I'm not one of them. I'm a practitioner. But I wrote a PhD, and I wrote words, and I have it published, and I have papers published. But nobody recognizes me because I'm not one of them. So what? I say, so what? I'm smarter than they are. Because I've seen project strategy, and I understand it. They don't. So, in 2006, I wrote the preface to my PhD. And one of my thoughts was, I was a project manager for many years in industry. And even as a project manager, you're in charge of the result. You're in charge of the project. And if it breaks and anything wrong, it's your fault. Even if marketing's screwed up, it's your fault. So, okay. But you should give me a little credit for being a smart guy for taking on the responsibility of managing the project. And that's what I wanted to do, is I wanted to give project managers a chance to be in control of their projects, to manage their projects and people to recognize their smartness. So in my quest to write my PhD, I looked at a number of different people in different areas who have created works or writings or papers or research that was important to project management. Some very important people. Porter is Michael Porter from Harvard, and he's well known for his generic strategies. He is also known for his value chain. He's written 2 books. One is called Competitive Strategy, and the other one's called Competitive Advantage. And I read both of those books, and I agreed with a lot of that information. And then I saw an article in Harvard Business Review by Wheelwright and Clark, and I found out that they wrote a big book on new product development. And in the Harvard Business Review and in the new book, the big book, they had articles about project portfolio, essentially. How to address a project portfolio. And then I read a book called Crossing the Chasm by Mr. Jeffrey Moore, Moore, Crossing the Chasm. And in that book, he talked about the work of Rogers, and I found a book by Rogers, who is an academician, did a lot of work. Rogers did work called Technology Adoption Lifecycle. That's how technology is adopted by people. And it really talks about stakeholders, project stakeholders. And in the book, Crossing the Chasm, Moore also talks about Levitt's whole product model. Levitt is a marketing guy who's written some good papers. You probably find them in Harvard Business Review and stuff like that. And his papers are about the product and the product we build out of our projects, and how important it is that the product be whole, that it address the needs of the customer, the stakeholders. And Moore kind of married the stakeholders to what we build. And this model could also be used in terms of operations, what we build. And then Shinhar had success dimensions and UCP models that related at the project level. So my idea, I'm only a PhD student, right? Just out of industry, working 35 years in industry, and I'm saying to myself, I'm stupid. And look at all these people, smart people, academicians. They did all these things. But nothing is connected. Nothing is connected. It's all like this joint. I'm saying to myself, if I'm going to manage a project, I like all of these ideas, so what would I like to do with them? I like to put them in my portfolio and use them on my projects. And by the way, I would like to see how they are interconnected and how they work together. That's my idea. My idea is, hey, let's build one model that incorporates all these things. I saw in the academic papers one model built by some guy from India, and it was a regression model. I don't know if you know regression. But in a regression model, you account for all the factors involved in the project, right? And you take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and you add all of these factors together. And when you add all these factors together and you do them in your project, then all these factors will contribute to the success of your project. And if you have enough factors and enough contribution from all the factors, you get maybe 70, 80% true that if you did them, your project will be successful. Even if you did them all, it's still not 100%, only maybe 70, 80% reliability in terms of success. So I'm looking at this man's model, and I'm counting how many factors he has in project success. You know how many he had? Guess.
10, 20.
Huh? It's 80, 70?
I said 20.
More. 99. He had 99 factors. 99 factors. I'm saying to myself, I'm a project manager. Am I going to sit there and do all 99 of these things in my project? Because as you get down to the tail end, the contribution of each of these things at the end is very minimal. It has maybe 0.1% more to the model validity. So, you know, I'm not going to do all of those things, but I want to do what? A central set of things that will help make my project more successful. So let me go through these models and let me investigate and let me collect the information and find out what's going on. So I went out and started collecting information. And I started collecting case studies from my students. So I had basically 100 or so students go out and write case studies. And these case studies, again, were 60 to 80 page cases. And the cases were based on information I asked them to collect about their projects. And then I took all of that information and I quantified their qualitative information. I went through and actually had it quantified. I had students go through all of the cases and quantify them on UCP, on technology adoption life cycle, and the other models that I show you in this research here, in this the class. And then we did some statistics on those numbers, and we found some interesting correlations. So that will be the result I would present. But what we're trying to do is create a project strategy that will be an overarching umbrella for a project manager to be able to run their project. So we'll find out that most projects fail. And they mostly fail because people aren't communicating and people don't have an idea of what they're doing in the project or why we're doing the project. And so we said we need to do more, we need to have a strategy. And these are some things, but the real key is everybody knows what to do and how to do it. And then they figure out who, when, and where to do it, but they always forget about why we're doing it. Hey, build a computer. That's what we're going to do. How do we build it? Oh, we know the technology. We know how to build the computer. But so we just do it. Why are we building the computer? That's the important question, because that affects what and how, who, when and where. We may do it differently if we understand why. And so we need to focus more on the project strategy. So what I said when I began my research was, hey, here's the execution. What's happening over here? Success dimensions, right? Mm-hmm. So what I said was, take the success dimensions and do what? Flip them over. So that what's number 4 over there is over here. What's number 1 over there is over here. 2 and 3. So I said, in the beginning, we have to assume that there's going to be a process to create this strategy, project strategy. So we flip the success dimension. So we take the first one and we bring it in. Hey, that's pretty neat, huh? Do you think you can do that in PowerPoint? That's called what? Animation. Yeah. You know where I learned that? That's one of the few things that I learned at AT&T that was important, is to learn how to do slides. Because in AT&T you did everything in slides. And the more animation you had, the more exciting it was. Sexy, yeah? Whoa, he jumped. No good. No good. So, we took building for the future and we flipped it over and it became what? Corporate strategy. Very high level thinking. Very high level thinking. Building for the future is very high level thinking. And what we found that we always, when we do strategy, we sit around and we do what? We talk about what we're going to do. What we're going to do. What are we going to do? Why are we going to do it? We strategize. Hey, you going out tonight with your girlfriend? You? No. Too bad. I'll go out with her instead. Okay. So she and I get together and we say, hey, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Right? So we've created a strategy. The project says, oh, we got the product plan. Let's just put the project plan together. Let's just do it. You notice there's no box there. The project's not sitting down doing project strategy. They're not saying, how are we going to do it, what are we going to do it, and why are we doing it? Important for them to sit down and strategize why we're doing it. So they understand how to build it better, so that they can support the marketing product plan effort. So there's something missing here. At that point in time when I was doing my research, there was no project strategy. Nobody at the project level was really sitting down and trying to figure out why we're doing it. And trying to figure out how to involve all this thinking here and putting it into the plan. And also, you have to, at this level, support this strategy, and this strategy, even though you don't know it. So if those things were communicated in documents, there would be a better way for the project to know, what are these guys expecting? What are these ladies expecting? What are these ladies expecting? Because your project will be a failure if you don't know the expectations of your stakeholders, if you don't satisfy your stakeholders. These people are expecting one thing, these people are expecting something, these people are expecting something. And yet you're building with what? Lots of uncertainty, lots of question marks. You're building something, and you don't know who you're satisfying or what you have to do to satisfy these people. And even worse, who's not on the picture? The customer's not on here. The user's not on here because they're using marketing as a surrogate for the customer and the user. You're not allowed to talk to the customer. You're not allowed to talk to the user. That's a marketing sales function. You just have to know this is what marketing and sales wants you to do. Just do it. No. I'm not just doing it. I want to know why. I want to know what you're expecting. What you're expecting. What you're expecting. I want to know what the customer's expecting. I want to know what the user's expecting. Because if I know what all these people are expecting, then when I put together my project plan, I understand what I'm building. And I'm going to build something that meets expectations of everybody that I can satisfy. And if I can't satisfy everybody, I need to get everybody together and say, hey, look, you guys, you're expecting stuff, but you're expecting stuff this way, you're expecting stuff. You need to do some more thinking so that we all are expecting the same thing. So that when I build it, you'll be satisfied. Customer will be satisfied. User will be satisfied. And we'll have great success. Not have everybody be unsatisfied. I'm not going to waste my time and effort building stuff for you guys just to have you say I'm a failure. Because I'm not a failure. If I follow what you do, what you want me to do, it'll be garbage. And I don't build garbage. I'm sorry, I do not build garbage. My team will not build garbage. We are a quality team. We are experts. We know what we're doing. And we can do it. So, why is it missing? Well, mostly because the project manager is not involved early enough. Again, as I showed you the box. Usually they bring the project manager in at the beginning of the box. They don't bring him in before the box. Part of the idea of all these people doing all their thinking is for them to take someone that knows what it takes to do the job, to build it, to be the project manager, to bring that person as part of the strategy and the planning teams of the marketing, the product management, and corporate and business functions, so that person can give them an idea. Hey, you're thinking great stuff. Let me think if we can do it. Yeah, well, we can do it, but we're going to need to bring new technical force on. We're going to need to bring new machinery on. We're going to need to bring a lot of plant on. But we can do it. See, project manager should always say we can do it, but then should qualify what it takes to do it. What it will take in reality to do it. Because a lot of the people that are making these decisions are not people that have done it. They're not people that have to make it happen. They're people that just think about what should happen. When they think, they see things, and it's wonderful, it's great. And you as a person, you're practical. You understand how to take greatness and to actually make it reality. It's two different things. There's a lot of work and a lot of effort. And you need to help bring some of these cloud thinkers down to reality so they understand what it will really take to build their vision. You are the builders of their vision. They only see the vision. They don't understand how to build it. As a project manager, you know how to build it. You know how to bring it to fruition. That person or persons has to be involved before the box. One of the best projects I ever worked on, I was involved before the box. I was in product planning, and I was working with the high-level vice presidents of marketing and engineering, and we were talking about, hey, company's in trouble, we have old-fashioned equipment, everybody's computerized, we need a computer system. And I said, okay. So I went off as a product planner, I visited different conferences and looked through the competitive information. I said, this is what the competition is doing, this is where they're going in terms of systems. They're automating the process, they're automating the system. We need to get an automated system. And this is what we should do, this is the plan. And I, as the visionary of the technology and the ability to do the project, gave them the idea of how to do it and what to do. But I did it based on why we were doing it. Why were we doing it? Company survival. We needed new product. We needed an automated product. And then all of a sudden, we're sitting in a meeting, and the vice president turns to the president of the company, and the president of the company says, well, I guess we really have to do this. Michael looks at me and says, you're the project manager. I wasn't the project manager before then, but I was what? The project manager after that. But when I became the project manager, I was able to make the project happen because I was involved in the strategic level thinking and the planning, and I was involved in creating something that was doable. You have to be involved in the definition and design, not just managing the work. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that the project manager should be involved in before the box, before just doing it. So why is project manager meeting? Because people like to say, here's the budget, here's the schedule, here's the spec, just do it. It's easy, just do it. No, not so easy. Think before you just do it. But you have to be careful. As a project manager, you're responsible for creating the project strategy, but your project strategy must be in harmony with the marketing strategy, the operations strategy, business strategy, and corporate strategy that other people have envisioned. And they are usually people what? Above you. Okay? So you're down here. You are not creating corporate strategy. You're down here. You're not creating business strategy. You're not creating marketing strategy. You're not creating operation strategy. You're creating project strategy. But your job is to, in the project strategy, make these strategies happen. Support and implement them within the project. And one of your jobs is to look through and understand each of these strategies, see if these strategies are linked successfully enough together that they make a coherent project and allow you to have a coherent project strategy. If they do not, you're sitting here and these don't make sense, what do you do? What do you do? You take a seat, right? You go, ah, stupid people, right? That's not what you do. What do you do? You get up and say, hey, guys, I need to understand something here. Can you explain to me this situation? This is the marketing strategy, this is the operation strategy, and they don't seem to fit. Can you help me? You're being nice. You're pointing out their stupidity without telling them they're stupid. You're doing what? You're helping define your ability to get the job done at the project level because there are some inconsistencies between the strategies above you. You're trying to get the stakeholders to align themselves on a unified, harmonized strategy that is allowable and doable at the project level. That's your job, to be the conscience of those above you. So, project strategy is not only what to do and how to do it, but why we do it. Okay. So I have this model now. I have these different strategy dimensions. And on this side is all the success dimensions. So now I'm saying to myself, in order to do this project, I have to get these steps in line. And this shows what? This shows a sequential order, but this is not necessarily sequential. It's sort of like things kind of like circulate in this, right? But I noticed something. One of the key strategies in this model is marketing. That's good. That's good. But what is it good for? It's good for only one set of projects in the company. Those are sets where the marketer is involved. But what if the marketer is not involved in the project? I said, well then, maybe there should be another model, very similar. And then I started to say, well, the reason why I'm going to have two models is there are two kinds of projects. There are projects that I do that are going to create a deliverable that goes external to the company. I'm going to create something to market, to sell, a product, a service, or even a process. I'm going to create something that sells, to sell. That's when I need marketing. That's an external type of project. But there are projects which, according to Porter's value chain, say, hey, within the company, I have an internal engine in the company that makes all these products and services, and that engine in the company has to have a good set of processes to do the job. So inside the company, I have internal projects to make a better engine, to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of my engine. my production, my manufacturing, even my distribution or my IT or stuff like that. All of those kinds of projects are internal projects. No customer, no marketing. They are what? They are operational. So I have one set of customers that focuses on revenue production, make money, and I have to achieve a competitive advantage. I have another set of functions that focuses on cost reduction, efficiency, and effectiveness, right? Responsiveness and productivity through process improvement. These are internal. They have an indirect effect on achieving competitive advantage. These create value for the company in terms of changing the internal engine of the company and making it work better. So I have two distinctly different kinds of projects. So what I'm saying to myself is that if I'm going to do things efficiently, I want to do them faster and less expensively. That's easy. But what I really should do is make sure that when I make changes and I want to do things faster and less expensively, I'm also looking at, if I'm going to make the change, why not make the change so I'm also doing it better? Be more efficient as well as effective. Be more effective as well as efficient. So you need to think in terms of these two concepts and try to do both when you make a change. So I said to myself, well, if we change this thing, we got to change this. Because this is not marketing, huh? We're an internal project, we have to change it to operations. So we change it to operations. See, it's simple. Just press the button on the screen and change it to operations. Well, what else changes? This is the strategy, is operations strategy. They have an operations plan. They know how they want the manufacturing plants to run. They know how they want the machines to run. They know how they want distribution to run. They know how to do this and do that, right? But those are operations plans. But now this is what? This is an internal project. This is basically the same flow, but it addresses internal projects. I said, that's good. Now I have two models. Internal, external. Marketing, operations. And to achieve the operations stuff, you need to get involved with this Porter's value chain and the different things within the company that occur at this level. These things that occur inside the company are operations, and each of those can be addressed with projects, internal projects. Create a better accounting system. Create a better manufacturing system. Create a better set of ways to bring materials on board. Logistics. Shipping stuff out. And those are internal projects. So, we can achieve value through projects, and we have the primary activities in certain kinds of projects, support activities and other kinds of projects. These are all the value chain projects. So the operations plan will include these items in it. But as I said to you before, a couple of days ago, it's all about the dinars, the euros, the US dollars, the Chinese RMB, yen, the Japanese yen. RMB is won. Oh, you have to watch my won and yen. Right? So for external customer projects to achieve success, we want them to be projects that make money, yeah? What do we want from projects inside, internal projects to be success? Save money, right? We want the internal processes to be more efficient and more effective, more productive, make more cars in an hour than we did before. How do we do that? Change the assembly line, change the machines on the assembly line. Get rid of the people, put robots in on the assembly line, okay? Automate. Typically, these are automation projects. Bye-bye. Enjoy your job. I'm sorry I'm late. So the external project strategy is make money for marketing. The internal project strategy is save money when you have operations. Then I said, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, now I have one of those projects where I have to build a new car, but in order to build a new car, I need a new manufacturing plant, I need a new distributor operation. I need what? Essentially multiple projects to do the same quote project. It's really a program, multiple projects. So now I have to build a car, make money, and I have to build a manufacturing plant or distributor operation, save money. I have two internal projects and one external project. So I have what? Combined project. And so I really have one that is affected by marketing and two that are affected by operations. So for this example, I should have another bar over here, right, for operations. So the corporate strategy, business strategy, build a car. But in order to build a car, which is that, I have to do these two. Dave, is this one project? No. This is not one project. This is probably 3 projects. You probably need a project manager here, project manager here, a project manager here, and then you probably need someone to oversee the 3 of these, program manager. To make sure they all work together. And so what you find, you have 3 projects going on, and the strategies among the 3 projects have to be coordinated. It's no good to just build the car, because I can't build it unless I have the manufacturing plan. I can't get it to the distributors unless I have the distributor process in place. So I need all 3 of these to be what? In synchronization, so that when I have the plant built, it can build the car. And when the car is built, the distribution process is in place so it can ship the car. All of these have to be synchronized and work together. And this talks about the different managers needed. So when you're working with just an external project, this is your chain of events. This is the actual project, those are the strategies, these are the success dimensions. You're working with an operational project, this is the execution, it's operations. Internal project, this is the string of events. When you're working with an internal, external, combined project, guess what? There's more events going on, and you're measuring success of essentially 2 different projects and combination of the projects. This combined project to be successful, both the internal and external projects must be successful. Otherwise, no good. Oh. Whoa. Those are dollars. I could have, I guess, made the E a euro, huh? So what would happen? External projects. If we don't do external projects, no money in. There's probably, oh, there's a euro. Oh. If we don't do internal projects, there's no sense doing internal projects if there's what? No external projects. If we're not bringing money into the company, does it make sense to continue the company, fixing the engine, trying to keep the car going, but nobody's buying our products? No, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna see the company, and the company's gonna disappear. So it's important that if you have a portfolio of projects in the company, that you have projects that are bringing in external revenue, creating products or services we sell, money, cash inflow. Otherwise, the company will disappear. And there's some benefits and stuff, okay? So I'm thinking that in order to achieve success, no euro, projects must be aligned, managed strategically, and with a project strategy. Otherwise, you're just doing it. Why just do it? Yeah? We're finished.